today was a big day for you. You made a decision to bronze those cleats after 11 years in the NFL.
Threw them up on the wire.
How did you come to that conclusion?
Man, that's a great question, a question I'm going to be asked a lot today and probably going forward. I just think you got to feel when it's time. And I don't think we're really trained to know when it's time. I think we're trained to kind of get in this league, fight to be in this league, think about, how to stay in the league, but you're not really trained or prepared on how to get out the league. And I think for me, I was in a position, to retire financially. I made my bread. I saved my bread. I was smart with it. I took care of my family, but I was smart with my bread in a way that I didn't need to play anymore. So now I was in the ability to make decisions, right, with financial freedom. And then I kind of looked as a guy that always loved being a great father, loved being a husband. I loved training around my kids' schedule. And now my kids are getting older. They got sports every day, and I want to be there. And I saw LeBron had a quote the other day that greatness is just like sacrifice all the time. And I was sacrificing some things, missing some things. I want to be there for my kids. So I didn't want to play for certain teams that were too far away from home for me, which was Tampa, and live without my kids for a year. I was tired of having them switch schools. So all those decisions led to me say, you know what, man, 11 seasons, 6 championship games, 3 Super Bowls, and 2 Super Bowl wins. Man, I did everything I set out to do on the field. So
11 seasons, you played with the Patriots, the Titans, the Giants, the Bucks, and the 49ers. You beat me by one team, but that's okay. How was that, though, bouncing around from state to state, city to city?
Yeah.
Different teams, different head coaches, different locker rooms. How did you take that on?
I think everyone was a different challenge. And I try to make the best of it and see the positive side of it. I think it's the stress and strain it puts on your wife and kids of having, my daughter was at 3 different schools in 3 years, going to 3rd grade. Different COVID for kindergarten. 1st grade was different. 2nd grade was a different state. 3rd grade. I'm like, man, this is like raising a child when you're in the military. Like, I got to find a way to find stability for them, a way to find a base. And that's when I said, I'm not going to move her anymore. If a team calls me, or if I go to a team, I'm just going to go and live without my family. I didn't have tons of joy living without my kids every day either. So it was tough. When I was in New England, I got drafted there, right? I won Super Bowls there. I learned how to be a pro there. That was cool. I left to Tennessee in free agency. New England doesn't always pay their players, and go to free agency, and sometimes you got to do what you got to do to set your family up for financial freedom. So I did that. Was able to go to New York, where I'm from, New Jersey. I would go home, and Joe Judge, they had some Patriot coaches that wanted to bring me in, be a leader, be a captain for that team, and I was able to do that, and that was cool. And then we don't win. New GM comes in, new coach comes in. What happens? They clean house. I got cleaned out. Part of that, I just signed an extension, got all my money from it, and I was able to go back to Tampa where I had a house. Boom. So once I'm in Tampa, I'm set. I'm like, okay, this is the perfect right off. I play with Brady again, and then I broke my foot. Week 4 of the season. And I was like, man, okay, I never really had an injury where I lost a lot of time in a season. Pretty much missed most of my year, came back for the playoffs, got bounced out, and I didn't like how that went. So I was pretty much good last season. Then that's when the 49ers called me. I was on a cruise on Thanksgiving. Haven't really been training. I was on a cruise. I was getting ready to retire last year. Shanahan called me on a cruise. I left the cruise ship, ended up starting for the 49ers 2 weeks later, ended up starting the Super Bowl, starting the playoff runs. And that showed me my ability to really know this game and play. And I can still do that. But it also was like, man, I can't keep doing this for too much longer, and I got to make the best decision for my family.
See, Keyshawn, you thought you was the only kid in America that went to like 14 different schools in 3 years. His kids did the same thing.
I think I went to like 11, and by the time I was 11.
Yeah, you got your beat.
Because off season, I'd go back
to train somewhere.
Yeah, so it's like they had to go with me up until the point where they got a little bit older, and then I just said, you know what, man, I'm gonna just stay in Carolina by myself. Y'all just come on the weekends,
right?
And come to the games, and then after the games, y'all fly home for school. That was basically routine.
Yeah. No, I mean, I remember I had my family up in New Jersey when I just got released from the Giants, and I just signed at the Bucks. I was going to OTAs because I was new. I wanted to learn the scheme, and I was on the same flight every Sunday night to fly down to Florida, to go to OTAs Monday to Thursday, and then back on Thursday. The same flight for 12 weeks in a row, 24 flights, like bang, bang. Same crew, same staff, same pilot. I'm dapping them up. Let's go. And it was cool. And then after like 6-7 weeks. Now you got delays. Now the flight ain't getting out on time, and you just spend all this time in the airport. And I think that, people don't see all that goes into it, right? For us to play the 17 games, a lot goes in all year.
We absolutely hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more from us, hit that subscribe button for all videos, full episodes, and exclusive content from the show. And don't forget to find All Facts, No Breaks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.